There are so many tools from Notion to Obsidian to Miro, and these are just the big names. But are they actually that good, or are they just the big names and that's the reason why people are using it? So what about the new tools? What about smaller tools? Might they be even better? And this is the topic of today's video. And if you stick until the end, there are two small little surprises. But first, who am I? I'm Jeff. I'm an ex-photographer and ex-co-founder of a German startup called Xanevo. We were roughly a team of 10 people who made around 300,000 in the first year of business. And now my company is actually doing 7 figures this year, but I quit this business 1 or 2 years ago with another co-founder. And now I pursue my passion with my one-person business and personal brand here on YouTube, like the personal brand, which is just kind of starting up. And I'm also teaching about business productivity, problem solving, productivity in general, and self-improvement. First of all, what is essential for a tool, software, or program we want to use? First of all, it needs to work for you, not for anyone else. Second, every tool has a different system, structure, and use case. And third, does it help you to get the results you desire? So as mentioned before, Notion, Obsidian, and Miro are the 3 big names most people know. And there's a lot of other tools we can use, and you can all see this here right now. And to make this video as simple as possible and as good as possible, I categorize it in 3 different categories. First of all is the project management, DIY or note-taking, which is these tools mentioned there. Then category number 2 is writing, note-taking, and second brain, and the majority of the well-known tools. And the third category is canvas, so digital canvas, visualization, and these are the tools there, which most people kind of know so far. So if there's any tool I missed and which is extremely important, please write down in the comments, because there's still mistakes I do, and I was just putting these tools in, which I think is kind of like important to mention. The main purpose of this video is not really to like show you every single software. It is actually to clarify what use case you might need and how to really like work with it. Because it doesn't really matter if you decide for any of these 5 tools. It depends on your decision. I'm just kind of like giving you a broad overview and understanding the entirety why these systems are important and how they can benefit you. Another thing what I want to mention, so what is your ideal outcome? This is really important. Like, is it business, life mastery? Is it like business mastery, life mastery, productivity mastery, or mind mastery? This is extremely important. Then it's also important, what do you want to achieve? What is your goal outcome? This is also like really important. And also, are you fine using one tool, only one, or do you need multiple tools? For my personal advice, it's more about understanding your needs and overall way of thinking. And in the end, which tool you need depends highly on your individual needs. So choose a tool on your personal needs after this video. But before getting into a bit more detail on how the system works, to categorize it and simplify the decision for you, if you're eager to build and start your own business, I have a 7-day challenge to start your own business, and I call it as chaos to clarity. And in these 7 days, I guide you to more clarity, less chaos, higher productivity, fewer work hours, and the foundation of your second brain business. The second brain business is a unique business system I've built after my 6 years of business experience and also the learnings from my startup. Honestly, there's no bullshit, just pure value for 7 days. And you can download a PDF file when you sign up to the challenge. Like, you can just do it right now and then you get the PDF file so you can read everything about that here. So what I was writing down, so you can make the decision clearer. Give these 7 days a try from chaos to clarity. I think they're really valuable, especially if you want to start a business and start a business you really love. You really wake up and feel motivated. And honestly, trust me, I'm talking from experience. Having a business you're not passionate about does not really motivate you when you wake up. Let's kick off this video and get into the main content. To understand what I'm actually want to tell you, instead of like talking about every single software there is, because you can just like get the PDF file and then just read which one suits the best for you, and I don't need to make the video for like 40 minutes. So the key thing I want to go into this video is pretty simple. We have these 3 categories, which I'm showing here. We have project management, note-taking, and canvas. And we also have the 4 primary things, which are life mastery, business mastery, productivity mastery, and mind mastery. The reason for this is pretty simple. This is kind of like the way how my business work, and also most of the philosophies, because I can categorize anything under life mastery, business mastery, productivity mastery, and mind mastery. Maybe there's some more, but that's where I came so far. And the big thing is, it's always like, what is the purpose and why do you need this exact tool? So for example, let's begin with project management. You might need the project management for business mastery and productivity mastery. You need for these 2 things. This is ideally project management. If you want to have the second brain, and you want to use a second brain, like one of these tools down below, you should have productivity mastery and mind mastery. You can also use it for business mastery, which is totally fine. You can use anything for anything. But it makes more sense for mind mastery and productivity mastery. And then in the 3rd category, which is canvas, this is actually more for life mastery. And yeah, sure, you can also use it for business mastery a bit. Also a bit for productivity and mind mastery. But it is more for like visualization. So maybe it works for mind mastery to just build an overview of understandable systems and make it easier for you to digest. But like if you really want to have mind mastery and productivity mastery, a second brain is probably better with the combination of the project management. Or if you only want to do business and don't really want to go into mind mastery, which I would not recommend, because only make that amount of money how good you are thinking. So in my perspective, you should always have a second brain somehow included, which does not mean that you can't use Notion or anything as a second brain. You can, but it's, in my opinion, not ideal. So we want to go into project management. We have these tools, as I mentioned before. We have Notion, Whimsical, Effin, Anytype, and ClickUp. As you can see here, you can do a screenshot, read it, or download the PDF, and then you can just read what the tool is doing. And the thing is, for example, if you want to do business mastery, the more effectively we solve problems in life, work, the better our lives will be, leading to higher status, income, and financial hierarchy. If you can solve the same amount of problems in 4 hours, why bother working 8 hours? And this comes down to systemized working and thinking, and also working with different people. So we have business mastery, management, and collaboration, working with a team, having a company. And this is really where project management comes into its perfect use case. And also, we do have a bit of productivity mastery, but how I define productivity is, in my perspective, a bit more deep than most people think. So productivity mastery in this case is, life is a string of problems. The more we become creative thinkers, the faster we solve complex problems. And productivity mastery is actually just about solving problems. The better we are at solving problems, first of all, the more money we are going to make as business mastery. And the better we solve our own problems, mostly mental problems, which is mind mastery. Got the point, hopefully. And then now we come to second brains. And the key for second brains is it is not only beneficial for productivity mastery, and also second brains, in my perspective, is good for working alone, and it additionally works with teams. That's something which I'm currently building as my second brain business, but more to that in future videos. And yeah, we have the mind mastery. And for mind mastery, the thing is, every mind and body is unique. What works for one might not work for the other. And then we also have thinking in systems for various situations, creates order and clarity, and enhances the quality of your thoughts, leading to a better focus on solving the problem. So, the better we think, the better decisions we take, the better we store our ideas, our information, and the better we write, the better we master our mind, the better we master productivity, and also long-term business mastery. And everything, as I mentioned before, can be used in any specific domain of mastery. But like these use cases I just mentioned right now is just better and ideally suitable. And so, for example, if you're a person who likes to read, and I would highly recommend reading because I think it's one of the best things we can do, and that's the reason there's so many books out there. And also writing, so reading and writing goes hand to hand, and I think we need to do both to have kind of like a successful life, not only in terms of business, but also in terms of happiness, mind mastery, etc. And for that, we can use a Readwise app, which is integrated to your Kindle or the Readwise Reader app. And then all the information will be stored in a second brain, and then we can go easier into it, which is also possible in Notion, but yeah, that's the thing. So in short, a second brain have mind mastery and productivity mastery at its core, enhanced thinking, writing, ideas, and highlights with Readwise. That is the main purpose, in my perspective, for second brain. Whatever you want to choose, decide for yourself. And then we have digital canvas. And for digital canvas, we have the emotional experience in your life will stick in your mind as memories, not the hours you spent at the desk, but you create the quality of your experiences at your desk and with the quality of your thinking. As mentioned before, we can use anything for everything. But the ideal thing with digital canvas is actually its simplicity, that we just have a whiteboard or like a piece of paper. And this have a lot of variations and sometimes too much. So in a lot of times, we sometimes need more structure, and that's the reason we have project management, which comes better into place. And for example, also second brain structure also makes more sense because we gain more structure. With digital canvas, we either can have too much clutter, or we can simplify it extremely. This is actually the main purpose of the specific softwares which you can use. I don't think there's there's some interconnections between different tools, as you can see with the different strings attached. But this is the main point of the thing. And some tools can or are good in two things, but so far my perspective, no tool is perfect in all three. The maximum is 2, which is good, but nothing is perfect in all three. It's mostly perfect in one, or maybe even not at all. So this is really depends. So for example, Notion is a great tool, but it's not perfect in a singular thing, but it's good in a lot of different things. That's the thing, because we can do everything, but nothing perfectly. Maybe relation and database. I don't know. And yeah, so which tools I'm using? If you're interested in which tools I'm using, I use from any of these three things. I use one specific tool. For digital canvas, I use Milanote. Oops, let's make it in yellow. I use Milanote just because of the folder structure. For project management, I use Notion. First of all, because templates. You can purchase my template, you can download my templates, and we can be really creative as long as we understand how to use Notion. And this gives us a lot of variability. And for a second brain, I use Cortex. So these are the three things. And for Cortex, it's new on the market, and honestly, I love it. But yeah, it's like also created from Dan Ko, pretty famous person or YouTuber or business guru in the internet. Yeah. And yeah, and for making it until the end of this video, there's two things I would like to explain to you, which might help you a lot with your productivity. So if you're deciding for a digital canvas and to simplify your life, you don't really need Notion and all this other stuff to really be productive. Milanote, the problem with Milanote, it costs $10 a month, and a lot of people might don't like it. So in this case, I would recommend you Figma, which is the tool which I'm using to create all of this. And as two simple mechanisms I would like to show you from my second brain business. First of all, about Canvas is the moving project and task system. So for example, whatever you have, you can also use it in Notion. What is really important is that we create a weekly calendar from Monday to Sunday or Friday, whatever, however you want to work. And then every single day, when we do not finish a specific task, we just put it to the next day. And it doesn't mean that you procrastinate. It just says that it wasn't a priority. That's in my case. Because most stuff which is not a priority, in my perspective, mostly gets on another day. And then we color it green, so we know, okay, we finish it. As mentioned before, we moved the unfinished task. And honestly, after a few days of this moving task project, you realize a lot of things you don't really need to do and does not really push or move the needle forward. So you can just delete it and use the Eisenhower matrix to categorize the priority. And for the last one is a simple organization system which works actually for every domain except of the digital canvas, which does not have folders. So to use the organizing task and responsibilities system, we need a folder structure, which does have Milanote, and that's the reason I paid $10. And this one is from Tiago Forte and was also developed by Thomas Frank, or like improved with Notion. And it's pretty simple. We have the projects, areas, resources, and archive. And projects are having a specific end in mind. So everything what have a specific end in mind will be stored there. Then we have areas, which is never completed and is actionable. Then we have resources. Resources are like non-actionable, like information, like books, etc. And archives are like finished project, old notes, but like kind of like the delete function without deleting it so we can find it. So that's it. That was the entire video. And yeah, you can download the PDF file when you join the challenge. The challenge, honestly, give it a try. Do it for 1 week. Read one newsletter, which happens after the 7 days. And if you still don't like the challenge or don't like my writing or newsletters and business structure, which is entirely for free, except for the two things, which is Payable, which is a Notion template, and my cohort, these are the only two things, the only 10% which cost money. 90% of my content is for free. And yeah, get the PDF file, look what you really like, do the challenge for 7 days. And if you don't like it after, let's say, 7 to 10 days, you can always unsubscribe. But maybe you want to stick longer because the content might be beneficial for you. I hope you liked the video. If there's anything, leave a comment. Everything is down in the description. And see you guys in my next video. Bye.